Great, thank you. I've studied many schools of psychology, and from what I've learned through Abraham, through you, is the simplest yet most profound and comprehensive. Good is good, bad is bad.
And once you remember it, everything that you've learned from other places begins to make sense. In other words, there are a lot of very effective counseling techniques that when you understand what is at their basis, you understand why they work.
Soothing.
And it helps you to understand why it will work with one person and not with another once you understand vibration. Yes.
Yes. And thank you so much for helping me to realize more, too, about my vibration. I'm ever eager to learn more, that my vibration be consistent with my perception.
Well, you are usually the last person to really be aware of what your vibration is.
Yes.
In other words, almost all of you see yourself as it is reflected back through others, rather than as it is offered purely from your own inner being. And when you really decide to start paying attention to the way you feel, that's when you are able to then offer a vibration that attracts to you. Let's say that you have met a stranger and you have an uncomfortable encounter. The thing that we would like you to begin saying to yourself, whether it is an uncomfortable encounter or a comfortable encounter, this was my doing. Now, at first, that will feel a little unsettling to you because it feels like somebody should do something about that. In other words, I didn't like how this went and somebody should do something about that. But the trouble with saying somebody should do something about that, meaning somebody else should do something about that, which is almost what you always mean when you say somebody should do something about that, is that you can't make them do it. You can't control what they do. But you can control what you do vibrationally. And so when you start assuming your responsibility for everything that happens to you, then you begin to realize that through some practice, you can begin to evoke from all others things that please you when you evoke it. In the beginning, it feels like you'd rather they would clean up their act so that you could feel better. But when you realize there's far too many of them with far too many different acts, it becomes overwhelming. And when you start practicing this game of virtual reality, where you begin to evoke the best from others, then what you begin to realize is your world will be exactly as you want it to be because you've learned how to master your own vibration. You ever known children, adults too, who behave one way with one person and another way with another? Esther had the experience recently where she was feeling overwhelmed and was really moving fast, trying to get a lot of things checked off her list. And she knew she was not in her place of best connection. She knew it, but she had sort of said, too bad, I don't have time to mess with this. I'm just going to get this list checked off and I'll get connected later, was sort of the attitude that she was in, which is just fine. It's just a bumpier ride, that's all. And then a dear friend that she hadn't seen in months, who she adores and who she knows adores her, came by the office. And as Esther was visiting, she could just feel the best of herself coming back. And she said to her maid, she sucked it right out of me. Her vibration was in such a place of well-being. And her expectation of rendezvousing with that part of Esther was in such a dominant place that she just influenced it right out of Esther. Influenced Esther right back into her connection. And Esther said, I need more like that. And we say, here we go again. Of course it's nice when there are those like that around you, but it's not their job to be there. And it's not their job to do that. It's your job to practice that vibration yourself. And if you will see yourself as that who brings that from others, then you will attract others to you that bring that from you. It's a vicious cycle of well-being, you see. Yes.
Thank you.